talk any politics today. That is the first surprise of today's show. There you go. Now you got me. And again, for anybody who's new out there, who's just tuning in for the first time, or even just to serve as a reminder for the folks who have been with us for these past several weeks, the point of this show, we're doing it every day, 12:10 to 1 p.m. The point of the show is to be the best trading resource out there. We want this to be the best 45 minutes of your day for finding trade ideas. And we're doing it a few ways. You've got myself and Jason on the Benzinga team that are bringing ideas. We're now going to be having a guest coming every single day. We had a guest on yesterday, the chief market strategist at PLTR. He brought 3 trade ideas with him. And then most importantly, from the chat and from the community. The place that we're going to be interacting with the community during this show and all of our shows is on YouTube. So go ahead and hit that YouTube link if you want to chat with us, you want to hang out with us. But again, very first surprise of the day is that we are not doing any politics today. We're just jumping straight into markets. So what's up, everybody? Welcome. I'm seeing folks start to stream in. Happy Friday. We already got some tickers going. All right. I like it. I like it. And let's go ahead and I'm going to share my screen, pull up my trusty Benzinga Pro here. So give me just a second for that. All right, there we go. We have the market hanging out. We have had a wave of news. We've had a hell of a week, and now we just have the market hanging out. Let me zoom this out to the 1 year, right? And so we look back at these past several sessions. We got gap, 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 and today is flat. I wouldn't say that today is boring, because we have a whole lot of news coming out, especially in the politics sphere, which we're not going to talk about today. We're giving you a break. We're only talking trade ideas today. But we still have a ton of news. We've got a ton of individual stock names. Like I'm going to go ahead and click over to our movers widget for just a second here. Let's look at any company above $2 billion. I mean, we still have a lot of sizable moves going on here. And what I will say is that I am especially fired up today. And let's just hop straight into the portfolio. Let's hop straight into the stocks that we're talking about. But check this out. Look at our Palantir today. Big round of applause for everybody in the chat who was behind that one. We started talking about this stock last week. You can see the average price here that we got in at $10.25. It's over $14 today. It's about a 35-40% run in 2 days. Yesterday, Jason got all the credit with his Upwork pick. Palantir was up, another 15%, but he still had the big pick of the day. Now we got Palantir running another 20% today. So we're feeling good about that one. PJ Williams in the chat saying that he's long at 9. We got a ton of people talking about Aurora Cannabis, so we're going to get to that one in just a second here. But guys, this Palantir, this was one that we threw out last week. We got long the stock last week. I mean, 40% in a week. I will take that any day. And let's go through a couple other names that we've talked about on the show recently. Scrolling down, we've got Snapchat here. Another 6% move in Snapchat, big winner on the day. We talked about Snap a little bit. It had that nice big gap for me. I put some stops in place. The thinking basically was, hey, if the momentum's gone, that the stock starts to fizzle out, hey, we're okay taking a nice healthy or 230% gain right now off the table on Snapchat, but it didn't. That's why we use stops. That's why we don't just sell the stock. The momentum keeps running in Snapchat. We get another 6% in it. We're moving the stops up. The trend is your friend. Momentum works, so we're leaving Snapchat running. Another one that we threw out, Curaleaf, up another 6% today. This is the cannabis play. Ticker Charlie Uncle Romeo Lima Foxtrot. So we got winners galore. Another one, Virtu, up 5.7% today. This is the one that I had been pounding the table on since last week. I got into it a little bit too early, added more to it last week after the stock was down. This was my election play, if you recall, basically the thesis was that volume and volatility will be good for Virtu. They're a market maker. They're trading all day, every day. So we have Virtu up 5.5%. Scrolling it down a little bit more, Moderna. Again, that's our vaccine play. We got into that one last week as well. So we're up a nice, $3 or so on Moderna. That's not a crazy move given that the run that the market's having. And let's look at our losers too. TAN, the solar ETF, that one, we added that one the beginning of this week. It was down, even though it was looking like there was probably going to be a Biden presidency. Got a really big pop out of TAN yesterday. Flat today, but hey, we're hanging out in TAN a little while longer. Again, 10% in 3 trading days. We'll take that. And then let's just call it some of these other names. Rocket hanging out flat. And then Box is the last one, hanging out more or less flat. So, those are the moves today. I'm feeling fired up. I mean, I don't know. We've got every stock that we added within the past 2 weeks, more or less, is either up pretty significantly or flat today. So I'm taking it. Again, I'm keeping my stops in, right? I always I always think about markets as the trend is your friend. Let the momentum run, right? Let's try not to sell our winners too early or hang on to our losers for too long. So we were going to move the stops up. The stocks keep gapping. They keep running. We're going to stay in these stocks. We're going to keep making money from these stocks. If they pull back, we're going to take some money off the table. And again, like in a case like Palantir, if we make 40% in a week, we're okay with that. All right, but before we hop over to our next segment, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of the stocks that we're seeing in the chat come through. I saw a couple of people saying that Aurora Cannabis, I think that's ACB, Alpha Charlie Bravo, it is going crazy today. Holy shit. Wow. Aurora Cannabis up 76% today. Is that a split? I mean, that's an insane move. Let's go ahead and take a look and see if there was a split on this. I don't think it's a split. If anybody out there knows, no, there's no stock split on Aurora. It's actually just up 76%. I mean, that is a hell of a move. I mean, I'm going down to my trusty news feed. I mean, it just looks like the cannabis sector is moving higher after, they're getting some legalization of marijuana. Okay. I mean, that's great. So everybody in there who's in Aurora Cannabis, I know that we've got a handful of viewers and chatters who are in Aurora, have been in the stock for a while. So big round of applause for you guys. I mean, the 2 day, we're looking at 77, 78% today. The 2 day move on this stock is insane. So let's pull out the trusty calculator. We're at 11. There it goes. Okay, so we're at 11.15 minus 475. 475. Okay, so over 2 days, two sessions, 1.5 sessions, really, the stock is up 135%. So I mean, I don't know what's the way to play this one. If anybody has opinions on Aurora, throw that into the chat. I mean, the reason why I would think that Aurora was the big gainer of the day, I mean, the big winner among the cannabis stocks, it's probably the most well known. Let's take a look at Canopy Growth, Charlie Golf Charlie. Canopy Growth, you've got up 15%. The one that I own, Curaleaf, Curaleaf, there we go. Curaleaf up 6%, which again, I'm okay with the 6% day. But wow, Aurora, that one is on fire today. So again, if you're in Aurora, we got Brian in the chat saying he's in it yesterday. I mean, round of applause to you. Yeah, that's nice. Let's look at a couple other stocks that we're seeing in the chat. YCBD. Okay, so we got a CBD play, another cannabis stock. What is this thing doing? Up 8%. Yeah, I mean, the whole cannabis sector's moving. Let's look at Tilray too, just to round it out. Tilray up 37%. So that's probably the number 2 stock behind Aurora. So I mean, cannabis is moving. I mean, I picked one. I don't know the cannabis stocks inside and out, but I picked one. It was Curaleaf. I mean, I'll take this move, right? We're looking at a 2-day move of what now? I don't know, about a buck, about 10%, whatever, we'll take it. But yeah, I mean, that Aurora is great. I want to give a shout out to Transparent Traders there in the chat. That is our good friend at Benzinga, James Mason. He's going to be coming onto the show on Monday. So he'll be joining us and he'll be sharing some trade ideas. Because again, the whole point of this show is that we want to get the ideas flowing. We want this to be the best resource out there for trade ideas, not just from Jason and myself, but also coming out of the chat. So I love all those pot stocks. You guys have been all over those this week. So congratulations there. You guys encouraged me to get into Curaleaf. I'm happy with that one. So awesome moves. All right. Let's see what should we do next. Let's do our what the readers want segment. Let's get our corny little graphic up with my cute squirrel, which I do really like this graphic. I've gotten flamed for this graphic, but I don't know. If you guys like the What the Reader Want banner, give me a 1 in the chat. If you don't like it, give me a 2 in the chat. Again, I know that it's corny. I think it's like ironically funny that it's so bad. But anyways, let's go ahead and take this one down. Let's look at my screen and let's get some more ideas flowing. So, all right, the whole point of this segment is to give you guys an exclusive bit of information, right? A way that you can have success in the market is if you have information that other people don't have. You're thinking about things in a way that other people are not. And so this is one of our attempts to give you guys that exclusive insight. So what we're looking at right now are the most read stories on benzinga.com for the first 12 hours or so of the day. And we get about 6 million readers a month to the site. Our content is all over, from the brokerages to the Yahoo Finance and that sort of thing. And with a sample size of 6 million people a month reading about 40 million stories a month, I mean, it's a decent sample size. And so what we want to do, we want to look at the most read stories of the day, and just get a sense of what do people care about? What are other traders reading about? Again, this is an exclusive insight piece of information for you guys that we're bringing on. So let's run through them. First up, a favorite. This is number 1 and number 2. We have Tesla and NIO. Stories 1 and 2. Tesla, it looks like it is now selling tequila at $250 a bottle. I don't know if that really speaks as a signal to the stock, but I mean, anything Tesla is hot today. The other one, we've got Musk going after NIO again, November, India, Oscar. If you don't know that one, it's like the Chinese Tesla. So we've got those ones there. Oh God, I'm getting a Slack call. So I need to get Jason a link, even though he has it in his email. Let me send that over. Just teasing. All right, so I'm gonna get Jason this link here. But story number 3 is Aurora Cannabis, the unusual options activity there. No surprise with Aurora, given the move that it has today of 78%. Story number 4 about movie theaters, right? This is like the AMCs, the Cinemarks. I mean, these stocks have been trouble, right? There's speculation that they're running into issue. So we've got a lot of people reading about those stocks. We've seen that for an ongoing period of time. And I'm going to hop down to number 6, Square. Square is a Bitcoin play. It's not a super direct Bitcoin play, but Square, ticker SQ, is a Bitcoin play. We've got a story about their Bitcoin revenue rising 1,100% in the third quarter. I mean, that's huge. Bitcoin has been the hottest kid on the block, except for maybe these cannabis stocks today. But we've got a story about Square in Bitcoin. So all right, that is our What the Readers Want segment. Again, this is a way to give you guys exclusive data, exclusive insight, get some trade ideas going. And I'm going back to my survey question I asked if you guys like that What the Readers Want banner, and we got a lot of ones except for JCS2TV. He's a hater. He did not like that banner. But Jason, I see you're here with us, and I've got something to show you.
All right. You guys are going to show me? What do you got to show me? Let's go.
Take a look. Take a look. We are hot stocks today, baby. You had yours yesterday with Upwork. Palantir up another 18% today, so we got a 40% one-week move.
You know what the best is? Yesterday, someone at the end of the show ripped you, Luke. He said, "You're pumping Palantir. It's a dog. It's gonna get it's gonna die a quick death." Okay, and guess what? It's up today, 18%. I can go in the history, but I love when people put their money on the line or their word.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me sort of nervous to share this, right? This is my live portfolio.
I know this guy ripped the crap out of you yesterday, and
he's banned from the chat.
Yeah, and whatever. The money speaks louder than words.
But actually, I like that though, right? Because I want to be proven wrong. I don't want to own a dog, right? So if you guys hate these stocks, tell me, and like let's build the thesis out on it.
But you're probably too good to be proven wrong.
I mean, I like to think so, but my portfolio doesn't say that every day.
No.
but okay, but check these out, Jason. All right, so we got Palantir. That was one we added last week, up 18%. Snap we talked about. We put on stops. Momentum cup running another 6%. Virtu, I've been pounding the table on, up 6% today. Cureleaf, that's yours, up 5.5%. Moderna up 2%.
Wait, you bought mine?
Cureleaf?
Yeah.
I had a Cureleaf last week at $9. It's up to $10.70.
So where is my effing check? What the freak? I mean, I give you these picks. I need my money.
Oh, come on. You can't give me one. You give me one.
I mean, I need my money. You did give me New York Times, so I'll give you on that.
I give you I give you Palantir. I gave you Snap. I gave you Virtu.
Do you guys realize, I don't know, there's 200 listeners right now, where you're secret money-making machine. I mean, literally, Upwork up 45% since I told you to go in. So I told you to invest in that thing. How about this one, Luke? VSTO. I mean, come on. What people if they're not listening to this show, what are they doing? Seriously, VSTO, 75% since I told you guys. We're up VSTO. So these are moves that are real and they're happening. Just if you want us to keep doing it, smash that like button right now on YouTube. Share this with your friends, because Luke said to me, if we don't get 200 live people at this moment, he's done with me on this show. So
yeah, we're still experimenting with the show. It's been a couple weeks. Yeah, if you guys like this and want us to keep doing it, again, we're trying to bring trade ideas and fun and energy to the community. Please share it. Please like it so we can keep this thing going.
Yep.
But I want to make one last point.
But before you make your last point, I want to tease our awesome guest. We have a guy coming on who knows options, knows the market's been around it for a long time. It's really easy to make money when the markets go, not really easy, but it's easier to make money when the market goes straight up. It just is. But having a long history and trajectory is really important. So we have a special guest coming on.
So that was sort of my last point, right? Like yesterday when we were looking at the portfolio. Okay. I mean, you segmented me well, right? We were up way more in terms of daily P&L, right? But today I own a ton of triple Q. Right, and I own a ton of SPY, and we've got triple Q is down today. SPY at last check was pretty much flat, and so these are the days that I live for. Right, is when we have a day where markets are down and we're still able to generate some return.
And we got to get, before we bring on a special guest, give a thanks to Jonathan Walker, super sticker. Jonathan Walker, we will talk about PDXP in a little bit, and we'll go to that later. And Luke, do you want to introduce our special guest from TD Ameritrade, Schwab, Thinkorswim, whatever you want to call it these days? Luke, go ahead.
All right, let's bring him on here. Sean, what's up? We're live. We see you. How's it going, man?
Everything's great. How is everything going over there? How's you guys been trading already this morning? There's been some interesting moves coming out of this jobs report, actually, even though it may not feel like it if you're just looking at the screens.
Tell us about it.
So one thing is you saw that post earning or post jobs report number came out, and you actually had a pretty decent little pop out of the Dow right after that announcement, and some of that is faded. But if you look within some of these indices, and I actually like to always bring up the Russell 1000 as opposed to the S&P 500.
Do you have an ETF for me for that?
The Russell 1000 ETF, I do not. I usually just use the actual index of the futures.
Okay, well, we're not that advanced yet.
We're not. We don't know futures here. Like Sean, can someone one day teach me futures? Everyone talks about, futures. I don't know how to trade futures. I think one day someone teach me how to trade futures live so I can truly learn. because I don't understand futures.
Well,
Yeah,
Jason, you should tune into my boot camp on Tuesday. A little
This
plug
Tuesday,
there.
this Tuesday?
This upcoming Tuesday, November 10th. I'll find a link to put in the chat.
Yeah, put a link in the chat. Thanks. All right, go ahead, Sam. Sorry.
yeah, I mean, futures are one. They're handy to at least have up, even if you're not trading them, because they move around the clock. They're highly liquid, so you don't need to worry about some one small trader or something coming in, and there's such low volume or not enough liquidity. They can start really moving things around on light volume. Futures are usually very deep markets, so you can sort of track. And right now, I think more than ever, if we've learned anything over the past couple of years, is that we are now in a 24-hour market news cycle, and just in terms of headlines coming out that have a deep impact on markets. If you want to know sort of what to expect or how to frame things as you're getting ready to go into the trading day, futures can certainly be handy to look at. So at least that way you're not waiting to see what the market does as soon as it opens, even if you're looking at pre-market trading early on. You actually can sort of have an idea of what's going to be going on with all the major indices. You can have an idea of what's going on with commodities. You can have an idea of what's going to be happening with VIX. And the VIX right now, that is sort of really what's on my radar, just dropped below 26. And if you would have told me we were having a VIX below that 26 handle come Friday at the start of this week, I would have faded that all the way. But I think now that you're seeing it pull back, I think there's a little bit of a sigh of relief going on just to be past the presidential elections, even if we don't have clarity, just sort of getting through that initial big November 3rd date. I think that's helping a little bit. I think some of the results are also helping markets because it indicates a little bit more gridlock. But now if I'm looking at this, and if you're an options trader, you might want to start looking at strategies that actually go long volatility, or maybe are a little bit more long premium, because when you have a VIX pull back this much, it sort of just sucks all the oxygen out of the room in terms of implied volatility and premiums that you can look to trade. So you can maybe look up for maybe some strategies where you're actually maybe buying spreads, whereas a lot of traders usually prefer to be sellers of premium. When you have this big of a pullback, I think you can start looking at some strategies that are maybe actually on the debit side versus the credit.
Okay, so can you dumb it down for us, like one level? So there. Okay, yep. Go slow.
Yeah. So here's the thing: the VIX, we call that the volatility or the uncertainty index.
Okay.
And
Yep.
if you take that number that you see on the VIX, and it's called the rule of 16. If you take that number and you divide it by 16, that actually gives you sort of the short-term expected range for the markets in terms of a percentage move up or down. And if you want to know how that can work, going into the election, if you were looking at the volatility uncertainty index just for this week, it was actually pointing the day before the election to a 3% move in either direction, up or down. Coming out of the initial round of elections result, we got about a 3% move exactly out of these markets. So I think that sort of shows you that is a pretty informative number to look at. So right now, what's it telling us? It's telling us, looking for about a 1.5% potential range up or down, which may not just mean, it means maybe you don't want to go and expect to have big swings in the market, but maybe you can now start going in and looking at individual names. And by doing that, you maybe can find some names that are going to move. There's still going to be some news coming out that can move a lot of these individual names. We still have earnings. Apple's got an event next week. But what it tells you is, look, maybe right now with the VIX pulling back this much, options are actually going to be relatively cheap, because VIX is actually just sort of a measure of how expensive or cheap options are. This kind of a pullback, it sort of to me indicates that option premiums are pretty cheap right now.
Okay. So basically the trade idea that you're throwing out is basically buying spreads, because the price at which you can buy those spreads is relatively inexpensive. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. I get it now. Thank you for taking that step backwards for me.
No, I do that sometimes. My JJ can, I'm sure everyone, you guys are familiar with JJ. Every now and then I get into what he refers to as thought tornadoes, and things start just coming out of my head as fast as they're going through it. And so he has to do the same thing where, all right, pump the brakes here a little bit. But yeah, that essentially is what this is telling me. The VIX pulling back this low, I typically look to be a seller, selling puts, things like that, selling put spreads, selling call spreads.
Yeah.
But with the VIX this low, I might actually start looking at buying some spreads. And even if you're somebody who just likes to maybe buy a call or buy puts, those are also relatively cheap as well. And the big thing, I think, if you're an investor, even portfolio hedging, you can almost think of that as a approximation for insurance premiums on your portfolio. This is telling you if with the market making these kind of moves, that maybe you can actually even use options as a way to hedge your overall portfolio. If you maybe are sitting on Microsoft or Amazon that even though they're pulling back a little bit, have had an incredible run this year, you can actually maybe look at going out and buying some protection on that via puts, and it's going to be relatively cheaper, certainly cheaper than it was at the start of the week.
And so let's say that I'm long Apple, which I am. And I do want to buy some protection on the stock. Like how far out should I be looking to buy puts?
So when you're looking at puts, I think a lot of people I think there's going to be some interesting moves coming in at the end of the year. I don't like to go out too far. I don't think you want to go out, say 160, 200 days. I usually look at around that 60 to 100 day time period, which would put you kind of into the January, February time period. So I would look out to January, look out to February. The good thing is if you start seeing some pretty significant moves, in either direction ahead of that time, then those options will likely offset some of that. Let's say if you do buy some puts in Apple, we get some news from Apple next week, and Apple maybe pulls back towards that 115 or 110 level, you can start to say, looking at that, saying, okay, you know what, if it does pull back, yeah, I'm giving back some of these gains I've had by holding on to this, but that put is going to go up in value to sort of offset that. So looking out about 60 to 100 days, January, February, I think that is an interesting time period to look at. The next thing becomes which strike should you maybe look at selecting. So if you're looking out to January, what a lot of people like to do is look at technical levels. And I know everyone likes to think if you're an options trader, you only care about the math side of things. You don't look at charts. You don't care about technical analysis. I disagree with that, because what you can actually maybe look to do, and I see that 109, 108 area as sort of a support level that is held since August. What some options traders will do is say, look, if it goes back down to 110, I think that support will happen. But if we break through that, then look out below. So what some traders will do is they'll actually maybe look just below that support level, and look at strikes around there. So you could look at the 105 or the 107 and a half put strike in the January expiration, and that comes out to about a $3 put option that you're buying. But if you do start to see pronounced pullbacks or even just a simple rise in volatility can actually increase the value. If you see the VIX maybe go back up to 35, that'll likely push the value of options, the premiums, up across the board. And you can see an increase in the value of those options just simply from volatility increasing, even if there's no accompanying price move. Okay.
All right. I like it. I like that you took me all the way through it and even suggested where the trade can be. So again, that was I am long Apple as an example. So I'm looking maybe that 60 plus day out range. Buy some puts; they're cheap.
There you go.
I like it. There we go. All right, and Sean, I have a story I have to tell too, which is, but before you were coming on, I was thinking of, man, when was the last time that I've seen Sean? Because it's been a while for pretty much all of us this year, right? We're not going to any events, we're not traveling, we're not hanging out, and that sort of thing. And I remembered that it was last Halloween, like basically in exact a year ago. And it was for your big annual conference that you guys do in Vegas every year. And what sticks out in my mind as being like hilarious about that event is it was starting at, I believe, 6 a.m. on November 1st in Las Vegas. So basically the day after Halloween in Vegas. and everybody, like I got down there maybe by 6:10, 6:15 a.m. I'm thinking there's no way that, everybody is here in Vegas on Halloween night, right? Out and about, and then ready to go roll, talk markets, talk options, talk futures, right at 6 a.m. But it was packed. I mean, it was unbelievably packed. I mean, it was like I got there probably at 6:10 in the morning, and I was probably one of the last ones left. I mean, it was amazing, but like the fandom that you guys created to have everybody show up like that.
Yeah, those are always great events. We've moved to virtual events this year. We actually have one coming up this weekend. But yeah, I mean, the enthusiasm from the traders, especially the traders that use the Thinkorswim platform, is always excellent. And when you think of the breadth of clients that come out there, it's people who have been trading with Thinkorswim since 2005, and then it's also people who just heard about people trading options and they want to come out to learn. And that's always, the better way. You don't want to, you'd rather learn to trade them using paper money or whatever before you start going out there and seeing your own dollars. But the enthusiasm from existing clients and interest from new traders, it's certainly picked up this year across the board. But we've seen that sort of consistently in the past couple of years as well.
So are you finding that new traders are just buying like single-legged one direction options, or are they getting into like I don't want to call it better, but I'm going to call it better, like better strategies, where they're selling premium, they're leveraging spreads and that sort of thing?
So everyone, I think it's reasonable, when you start out, you learn what options are, you learn what a call is, you learn what a put is, you sort of learn what affects an individual, call option in and of itself. And I think that's where people start out, and they really just want to maybe get the exposure to price moves without having to put out a massive outlay of capital. Would you want to drop $50,000 on an Apple, or would you rather maybe just go out there and look at buying some options and get that exposure? As they learn more and they start seeing things play out, they start to ask more questions, and it sort of naturally flows into learning what spreads are. And for me, I mean, I don't remember the last time I went out and just bought a single option. I'll sell puts every now and then, but that's if I am actually comfortable owning the stock at whatever that price level is for the strike I sell. But now for me, it's pretty much spreads across the board, especially in earnings season. That's where we really get a huge spike in spread traders.
Okay. All right. I like that. And that makes sense, right? You got the earnings volatility, the spreads are hot. I mean, that makes a ton of sense.
Yep.
Awesome.
What time does your thing start this weekend?
So we start very early tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Come on. I had to be awake at 6 a.m. the day after Halloween in Vegas.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was a tough day. Come on.
I mean, I've got to go man the event all day in Vegas. I've got to get my time at the craps table in the night before.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's hard on all of us. Don't worry.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. So how long does it go for? How many hours?
It goes, it actually will go all day. It's something that is almost always very heavily attended. It goes until 5 o'clock.
Wow. So you'll be tired tomorrow.
Yeah. Whereas people, if you think about it, it can go even beyond that when you get into breakout sessions when we do this in Vegas, and it goes on for multiple days on end. But yeah, tomorrow we're going to start early and go all day. A lot of different sessions. It's not just for options traders. It's for investors and traders of all stripes. And there's a lot that just general market information that we give out there as well. And we've got some interesting guests coming in. We've got some of our friends from Schwab proper that are also going to be joining us as well. So it's going to be a great event.
And is it just for TDA/Schwab clients, or can anybody sign up?
Anybody can sign up. You can go to our website. There's going to be a link to register on there. We also have the TD Ameritrade Network. There's going to be access provided in there as well.
And, okay. I want you. So someone in the room asked, "How do you determine your edge?" I don't know if that's a question you want to answer, but how do you determine your edge?
So for me, edge comes in many different flavors. When I look at edge and what I consider edge in an options trade, and that's primarily what I trade in, I always look at probabilities. You can actually see the probabilities of a certain price level holding. So going back to our example for Apple, Luke, you can actually look and we can see that there is a 70% chance that Apple will be at or above that $107.50 price level at expiration in January. So for me, when I'm looking for edge in a trade, I look at probabilities, and I usually try and look at least 68 or 70%. That gets you at that one standard deviation level. That's sort of my edge I look at. That's the first thing I do if I'm going to go trade something in earnings. I'll go out and say, okay, where's that 70% probability fall? That's usually where I'm going to start to anchor a lot of my strategies. But some people really like to look at technical levels. Some people have their own ways of coming up with risk reward. And usually when you're looking at probabilities, you can also get the risk reward to balance out along those lines as well. But that to me is the edge that I look for. It's certainly implied probabilities. You don't have to calculate them. It's just a column that you can select in the Thinkorswim platform, and it'll break it out right there. There'll be the strike price and the probability of whatever that name or whatever you're looking at being above that price level at expiration.
Got it. Okay. I hope that answers that. And then Luke, do you have a link for the thing tomorrow?
Tell me how to find it, Sean. Yeah, the chat room.
I will send over that link right now. I can't be logged into my my work terminal and also be streaming at the same time.
Okay.
But let me pull that link together. Let me see.
Because we can post it, because we're still going live for another 5 more minutes after you're done. So you can, when you're done, you can send it to us, and then we can post it in the chat room.
Okay.
That makes it easier.
Yeah, let me try and forward this. I forgot I have my iPad here, so I can try and forward this over real quick for you, because I think it's going to be a great event. I definitely encourage everyone to come out. I'll be presenting later on in the afternoon if you can stick around that long.
Yeah, I won't be on it, or Luke won't be, so it'll just be okay. It won't be great. Just kidding. Next time you gotta invite us. You gotta invite us.
What? We're gonna get you in there next year.
There you go. Now we're talking. Oil down 4%. Luke, are you trading oil?
No, but I'm long oil. But I'm long oil just like as like a portfolio allocation. You know what I mean? Like I'm not long oil from any strategic sense, other than, again, I'm a big ETF guy. 70% of my money is in the ETFs to build a nice portfolio. 30% I mess around with my stock picking. So I do have a little bit of oil.
Got it. I'm not in oil. My last oil I bought was USO, and that was wrong, so I'm just not in it.
Yeah, it's a bad year for USO.
Yeah, bad year for USO.
I mean, they probably got a lot of funds, a lot of assets in.
Do you ever do anything with oil?
So here's the thing, the other interesting part about futures. So I use futures, but futures have options on them as well, and they work basically the exact same way as options do on Apple, SPY, anything that you're looking at. So when I do go out there and trade commodities, once again, we just discussed, my edge is using options and using probabilities, making sure I've got a high probability trade on. I go out there, if I'm going to trade oil, if I'm going to trade gold, I go to the futures and I use the futures options, and it is the exact same mechanics, exact same fundamental concepts that you would use for equity options, you use for future options as well. Okay. Got it. So and the URL for that actually is just www.tdameritradeconference.com.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm typing that in now. tdameritradeconference.com.
Hey, Chris Kaji, we don't know what you're up 20% over since election. We don't know what
he's talking solar.
Solar what?
I don't know.
So that's what I'm saying. That's why I just asked. He's talking nothing by saying solar, like an industry's up.
I pulled up my TAN up big yesterday. Let's go.
Sure. But I'm just saying, Chris is saying go solar, go energy. But I need. Okay, we got a symbol now. ARRY. Well, where was that before, Chris? We didn't see it. See?
Okay, maybe he wasn't talking solar.
Yeah, he's just talking about a stock, I think. But yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right. He threw us off there. Sorry. Sean, anything else you want to add before you got to run?
So actually,
also on here right now.
Yeah. So something that I think is interesting in getting into sort of the solar electric vehicle, green play, in the way I'm starting to approach it. I think for a while you had Tesla. You had maybe one or two names that everyone was really looking at. I think there's a lot of value to be had in going out there and actually looking into the entire ecosystem that goes into electric vehicles. We had a guest on one of our network shows who's the CEO of a company called Beam Global, and they're actually
Wait,
just
do you have
more
a
of
ticker
like
for
an
me?
BEEM.
Thank you.
And they are more of like the infrastructure that would go into a very healthy size of the population now using electric vehicles, or even getting into electric planes and everything too. But they're more of an infrastructure play. So you don't need to maybe view it as I need to go out there and find who's going to have the next best electric vehicle, the next best batteries. There's other parts of that ecosystem that I think are worth exploring. And maybe, a lot of them are still sort of early on in their growth life cycle. So they're nowhere near mature yet. And I think there can be some value, but you do have to do your homework on some of these companies and maybe not just go off of the hopes and dreams of the visionary founder, but look for companies that are actually going out there getting contracts, getting some revenue coming in the door in any fashion is always helpful as well. Have a deep IP portfolio. Those are some of the things looking at, and that's actually something that I've been dedicating a lot of my personal time to lately.
All right, I like it. I like it.
Yep, and people in the room love TOS. They're talking about TOS, love TOS all around. People trade options futures. And this is the guy, Sean Cruz, JJ Kinahan. These are the guys behind it. So if you ever have any questions on, a function on TOS, ask us here. We'll bring Sean on.
Yep. I'll drop Sean's cell in the chat too. So if you have a question, text.
Yeah, you can call or text me anytime. Yeah. So
whatever.
Yeah, whatever. He loves it. But
I got the new iPhone. It's been a little quirky. I don't know if anyone else is having those problems. They put out a patch last night, so hopefully that fixes it.
Yeah.
I think a flood of text would break the phone potentially.
Yeah.
It could.
So make sure you text at night is the point, right? Middle of the night, text and call, so he's getting fewer other calls. Yeah.
From the passionate Thinkorswim users. But no, thank you for coming on today, Sean. Hopefully we can do this again soon. And it's our Benzinga halftime midday report. So we appreciate you coming on, and good luck tomorrow.
All right. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a good day.
All right. Yep. You too, man. You too. Thank you. Okay. All right. That was Sean Cruz with TD Ameritrade.
Charles Schwab. But okay, wait, Jason. I've got to leave in 6 minutes. I want to ask you about one.
I gotta leave too.
All right.
I have 1 o'clock. I gotta leave like in 2 minutes. I have 1:25 and a 1:45. So we got next hour.
All right. I want to know about Peloton. You've talked about this stock before.
Yes.
Tell me the thoughts. I think we had earnings were yesterday after the close, I believe. Let me get a nice scroll here and make sure. Yes, Peloton earnings after the close yesterday.
So I'm holding on to my Peloton. I bought it during Corona. I'm trying to hold it for a year because I don't want to get another tax. The 20%, 40%, unless I move to Puerto Rico where you have no taxes. I'm holding on to it. Why not hold on to Peloton? It seems like it's the new company that's going to create devices for your home use. Apple should have bought Peloton when Peloton was at $30. They should have bought it to have a new innovative product in their library. Yes, you probably disagree with me, but they should have. I like Peloton. I still like Peloton. I think they're going to have a bunch of new products that come out. And what they've done that I love the most, because I'm all about this, they created community, where you have your community. You can see when you're riding together. What's your question? Go ahead. Sorry.
Here's what you're up against. Is that every fitness trend is a fitness trend. Every diet trend is a diet trend. Right. That's why long term I don't like this thing. I'm not going to bet against it. Right. I don't bet against any stock that goes up 5x over the course of the year. But I just am stuck with this. We've seen it before historically that every fitness trend, every diet trend is a trend. It's a fad.
Yeah. No, I hear you. So you're a bear.
I'm a bear. I'm not shorting it. Again, I'm not shorting any stock up 500% in a year, but I'm not buying it.
All right. No, listen. That's why there's a market. All
right, and let's do this. We didn't get to our chat challenge today.
But how about
let's crowdsource this?
LTHM and Tesla announced a deal today. Lithium.
All right, we'll get there. Just if you like Peloton 1, if you don't like Peloton 2, because we didn't get to our chat challenge, I do want to crowdsource something. All right, let's look at your lithium.
Yeah, LTHM and Tesla finally announced a deal. I've been saying this since $5. Let's go. Celebration. Let's go. Lithium, LTHM. Woo! Yes, let's go. All right, Chris Kaji, I'll give you a lesson this weekend on how to invest in Upwork and lithiums. You want to have a stock contest against me, Chris Kaji? This guy is coming against me with some stock picks. I'm ready to go, Chris Kaji. We'll start on Monday.
All right,
3 weeks. Yeah, what?
And I'm just starting on mine one more time. Again, Palantir, Snap, Purely, Virtu. I mean, this is a hot day with all stocks we added pretty much over the past week.
Yeah, I mean, it really is.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. And I'm going to have someone write a story on Tesla and lithium right now on Benzinga. So if you want to read it, check out Benzinga in an hour. You'll see an article.
All right. And what's your 1 o'clock call?
1 o'clock call is with Baron Osman. He's CEO of Stocks, STOX, portfolio trap thing. Okay. And then Yodlee Awards. We have the Benzinga FinTech Awards on Tuesday. Why don't you guys leave this room right now and go register for the FinTech Awards? Go to fintechawards.com. Okay. Fintechawards.com. We have 10,000 or 12,000 people registered for it.
No. 16,000 now, baby.
16,000.
Let's go. All day. We're going all day.
16,000 registered all day on Tuesday. Registered. Let's go. Like, why are you guys not registered? I don't understand. Let's go. This is what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to have fun, and let's go, guys. One life, one time. Let's go. Lithium and Tesla deal. I got to get a story written on that. All right. Anything else before we go to these calls?
No. Check out how crazy my call is. I got a call that has TradeStation, E-Trade, M1 Finance, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab on it all at once.
Really?
It's like the craziest call. Yeah.
That is
talking to all the brokerages.
You got every brokerage. You can get all the volume, everything going on in the world.
Exactly.
You know. Any questions for us about how Benzinga works or anything like that before we end? We have 1.5 minutes. Stories up on lithium, Chris said. Okay, well, I didn't see it, Chris. Hit me in the content Slack.
Yeah, Chris, you use capital letters too. Because at first I thought that L was an I when you posted it earlier today.
Yeah, for the stock symbols you want?
Yeah.
Chris, Chris is new at this game, Okay. He thinks he can take me down in the stock market. We're going at it. Chris, we're gonna go at it in a public way, big public way. Every week you're gonna check in. All right, you guys are quiet in the chat or it's delayed. Could a new trader work for Benzinga? Potentially. Do you know Forex? I mean, yeah. I mean, it depends on what you can do. Listen, this is what I'd say. If you're driven and you're hungry and you think you can impact the outcome, then you can build for Benzinga. Then you can create stuff at Benzinga. That's for sure. That's what you have to do. Like, we create this show from scratch. If you think you can do stuff better than us, good, then yeah, we want to talk to you. Email us, like Luke just gave the email address. Just send us 3 bullet points on how you can impact the outcome here, and we'll say cool or no, or if we say no, then you can prove otherwise and test. If it works, then Luke has a bunch of money to pay you. That's how it works here. A bunch of money.
Yeah. I put the Benzinga bank account in Palantir. So.
Instead of getting 2% on our interest in our savings account, which is not true, you don't get that. We'd rather spend the money on you if you have ideas to impact the outcome. It's that easy. If you have ideas to impact the outcome and you can do it here, literally send it to us or show us examples, and you can be hired tomorrow, and Luke will open some of the cash banks for you. So that's the truth. All right. Let next person hit the like button, subscribe, notifications. We love you. Have a great and safe weekend. Maybe Luke can do a Sunday show at 9 a.m. So because he likes to get up so early. But
6:30 in the morning Sunday. I'll see you guys here.
But if you love Luke, and who doesn't, hit the damn like button. Press number 1. Show him your love, because sometimes he gets a little down when he doesn't see the love. He's one of those guys. Okay, so just please do it. Okay. I'm already down, so that's why you don't have to do it for me. So you're not going to change me. Okay?
All right. Happy trading, guys. Peace.
Peace. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.